Well, hello everyone, I'm Dr. Stock and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Today we're talking crypto. I got Ethereum updates for you, Solana, Cardano, Polygon, and there's I think a little bit that's interesting about each one of them, and I want to share those interesting things that I found, what I think is going to happen in the near term, and what I see for them going out into the longer time frame. So just stick around and let's get ready to rock. Welcome back. For those of you who are interested, down in the description you will find a link to my Patreon. If you click on that link, it'll take you over. You can sign up, and over there you'll find access to my dividend portfolio, growth portfolio, crypto portfolio. That crypto portfolio is the newest one that I added. It's a small one, but it's growing quickly, and I think that our crypto market itself is really going to help that out over time, really flourish to become much larger than it is right now, plus some dollar cost averaging in there. Moving on from there, my investors that are over there, they're absolutely wonderful, positive, passionate people when it comes to finance, investing, and just really genuinely good people. So if you fit that description, you want to come join us, by all means, go ahead and do so. Like I said, that link is down in the description. While you're looking down there, find the links for Webull and Moomoo. By signing up and depositing $100, you get free stocks. I get free stocks for referral, so thank you. And last thing before we talk about the cryptos, cover your eyeballs like this, smash around your screen until you find the like button. There's also a subscribe button there and a notification bell to see anytime that my videos come out. I would absolutely enjoy that form of support, and remember, the more support that I see from you, the more support that I can return. So thank you, and let's move right on to the cryptos. Alright, so we are on coinmarketcap.com, and remember I said I want to start off with Ethereum, and you can see it's just currently rocking just south of $3,400 per ETH token, and that's not the strongest price action that we've seen. And if you check out the chart that I have on here for you, I have some lines drawn on it, and I think that these are really important lines to check out. So right now, this is going all the way back to, well, pretty much the beginning of January, when we were, or I should say in the beginning of 2021. And besides a little bit of price action up above, for the most part, we seem to hit this top line and hit this bottom line, and have this somewhat linear trend, like in trading in a bullish channel. So it keeps on progressing us upward and upward, like a slow, steady march with some volatility that's in between. So when we had that huge run up that we had up to here, and just really lots of excitement going on with Ethereum and with crypto in general, and then we had the major sell-off. It popped us down out of that, and then June came along, and you had a little bit of a further sell-off from there, forming up that W pattern, setting up for the next run, returning us back to this channel. And more recently, you can see that we have behaved within this channel so far, and when we popped out for a little while, we started making our next leg up, and then brought right back down to the channel. And where we're at right now, so today, if we saw this price come down, straight down from that bar, right down just below $3,300 per Ether token, we're still within that channel, and it's still nothing to worry about. And I really think that Ethereum is going to be one of the champions over time, and it's going to continue to impress us in the crypto space with its innovations. Proof of stake, when we have that merge between the mainnet, and the beacon chain. Oh, I can't believe I leave this stuff on YouTube, but I'm going to. What the heck? So the mainnet and the beacon chain, when we have that merge and we switch over to proof of stake, then what we're doing is we're encouraging hodling and staking those Ether tokens rather than having the miners use proof of work and then dumping. Guys, I'm telling you, dumping their Ether that they've mined back onto the market in order to pay for their fees and their expenses. And it also lowers the barrier for entry for people who are staking, if they're using a staking pool, or if they're a staking node themselves by being a holder of at least 32 ETH. Either way, I could do that with my laptop versus having a large warehouse type facility with just massive amounts of hardware. Instead, it really does bring a lot of attention to Ethereum, and also the lowering of gas fees, the lowering of congestions, the increase of transactions per second that we get as we move further through the ETH 2.0 development, as sharding comes along to really help us with that scale up. These are all things to look forward to, and the fact that it has shown its resilience to the most recent attack, whereas Solana happened to fail. These are all things to pay attention to, and reasons why I stay bullish on Ethereum, not to mention the amount of total value locked that they have in the DeFi space, the amount of development that they have around them, and just the flexibility overall to serve pretty much any need that's in the crypto space. And even if it falls short of it right now, there's still development to make it happen as they continue to progress, that they continue to innovate. And to me, that continues to impress me. So I think that this channel is something that we might even be able to count on moving forward from here. So if you look at this channel and you kind of subtract out some of that volatility and count this as that slow, steady march, it looks like maybe by December that we start bouncing back and forth between that $4,000 mark. But honestly, proof of stake really does change the game. When are we going to get that announcement of that date of the merge between the mainnet and the beacon chain? I think when we get that, I think that's going to change this trajectory that we're currently on. I think it's going to make it a little bit steeper, or if it doesn't change it to have a steeper rise, I think instead what it will do is it will step us up and put us on a new path, set us into a new channel. So we'll watch and see if that happens. So in the near term, if this drops below $3,300 per ETH but stays up above $3,200 per ETH, I think that we're in good shape. If we drop well below that, I still think that we're going to return to this channel in the near term. End of 2021, depending on what sort of news we get, what's happening with crypto overall. If Bitcoin really makes a run for it, the Ether bulls are not going to let Bitcoin make that run out in the lead without keeping up with them, keeping pace with them, and that's also going to inspire more bullish momentum in Ethereum as well. At least that's my opinion on it. So you guys can take what you want from that. I'm saying a solid $5,000 for the end of 2021. End of 2022, we could be even better off. We'll see how proof of stake goes when we have that merge taking place between proof of stake and the beacon chain, and also find out more about that next patch that's to follow to clean out any of that deprecated coding that's in there that kind of throws out the useless stuff, because that's something they separated away so that they could accelerate that merge between the mainnet and the beacon chain. So we'll have a small one, and then sharding should be that next big thing on the table, and really seeing what sort of transactions per second it puts out is going to be pretty good for us as long as we have good numbers to report. So I better move on from there. That's what I think for Ethereum for right now. And my price prediction for Ethereum for 2025, I think, is a nice conservative $10,000 per Ether token, and that's with the continued growth in the crypto space and Ethereum in its leadership position. All right, so check out our friend Solana. Solana is looking like a Solana snake or maybe a Solana dragon. Look at this little tail that it has, and up, and then you got a little dragon head here and then a little nose there. I don't know if this is technical analysis or if it's just me with a good imagination. In any case, we have this sort of flagpole up, and then we have like a flag downward here. So we have a bullish flag pattern, and right now we don't have confirmation of a breakout. This is a really good start. The volume is one thing. The RSI is another thing that helps us out a little bit. The volume isn't explosive volume. It's not igniting volume. It's not, and we also don't have a high enough, large enough body candle here to tell us that what we're doing is we're finally breaking out for real out of that pattern. This could be sort of a false breakout. So we do have to watch for that. If we get two more of these, so we call that three white soldiers after a sell-off like this one. So taking us out of a small bearish period like we have here. So this could be that first white soldier. And if we have two more that take us up, even with what we have here, take us up beyond that 50% retracement level, so up over $180 per SOL token, then what we could consider is that we could be on that next bullish leg up for Solana. And honestly, it turned around really quickly after that hack that they had, and so we'll see if that continues over time. But it is possible that today is the first day in making that breakout happen, making that break to the upside. Like I said, if we have two more candles, the next one we want to start up about where this one closed, and then the next one after that picks up where the other one closed. And so for the most part, the bodies don't overlap. You have higher than higher than higher with your three white soldiers. So that's something to look out for, and that would really be a good indicator for us that Solana is really starting the next leg up. And I think with this launching point being setting up at $140 per SOL token versus when it was down here at 70, we are 2x up from there. And having that higher launching point, I think, is going to allow us to spring even higher than where we're currently at. So I think that 250 mark, if we get a really strong breakout, if we solidly break this resistance that we hit around that $200 level the last time, the sky's the limit on this one. 250, I think, seems attainable. I know it's a lot really quickly, but there's a lot of rapid adoption to Solana, and I don't think that that's going to change anytime soon. So that's my thoughts for Solana. I think near term, we could be on that next run up. I think by the end of 2021, that it is possible that we see that $300 mark take place, especially if Bitcoin and Ethereum are performing very strongly. It's going to rise the the high tide rises all ships or something like that. I'm not great with sayings, but we'll move on from there. So Solana, absolutely love it. I think it's going to be a real performer, and if they can deal with that centralization issue a little bit, it might take a small hit to the transactions per second, but it might also be something that allows them to push even higher and get faster adoption. Time will tell. Not to mention there's a high barrier for entry with the expensive hardware that it takes to maintain something like the Solana network. So technology just advancing over time is going to be something that makes Solana even more and more realistic with staying power over time. All right, Cardano. So my Cardano friend that we have right here, we peaked just under $3. We actually went over $3 for a little bit, not for very long though, before falling off from that, and on decent volume, September the 7th, but that was a drop for a lot of cryptos that were out there. I think Solana may have persevered through that a little bit longer yet. So what we have right now is that we sort of have a triangle, and it's sort of a bearish triangle that we're pushing harder and harder downward, more and more bearish pressure, and the bulls are struggling to keep hold right at that $2.30 mark per ADA token. So what do I think happens next? I think it's possible that we find ourselves right around like the $2 to $2.10 per ADA token in the near term. We have the Cardano Summit coming up on September the 25th and 26th. We could find some information out there that really helps out. We also have the concurrency issue right now with the smart contracts that Hoskinson came out and said, well, that's by design, and then other people are saying that it's a bug. So until that gets addressed and more people are satisfied with the way their smart contracts are performing, that's going to tell us a lot more about the next leg up for Cardano. I don't think that this is going to be something that they're going to sit back on their laurels and wait for. I think that this is something that they're going to want to address sooner than later, and that they will give us another small patch in order to fix it, or maybe if it requires another fork, maybe that's what they'll do. But I think that it's something that will be addressed, because I think there's enough demand out there for it, and there's enough outcry that it's just impractical to have it in place the way that it is. So if we pull back to $2, I think that that's going to be a place where we're going to find really good support, really strong support. If we pull down below $2, I think that's going to be even more of a springboard, sort of like the coiled spring where, it snaps back up, and I think we're going to get some immediate price action out of that. So end of 2021, again, with the rest of the crypto market moving, I think $3 to $5 is very, very reasonable for Cardano. If we can return back to $3 in the near term, 5 is much more likely. If it takes us long enough time to get back to $3, then I think $3 is a little bit more likely. So those are things just to consider as you watch Cardano play out, and we'll see if support holds, or if the next thing that happens, especially with these candles getting smushed down here to these narrow range doji-like candles that we have, this could be the one that finally the bears win just for a little bit in the short term for Cardano. So in the near term, 2025, if Cardano's still at the top, and a lot of people still believe that it will be at the top by being one of the leading cryptos, that certainly brings a lot more, that implies a lot more adoption and development and a lot more interoperability across different blockchains, and Cardano is being built precisely for that. So with that in mind, this is something that, $5 into 2021, why not easily $10 end of 2025? Or I should say in 2025, not necessarily the end of 2025. And I know people who are the real Cardano bulls out there are going to not like that I said just $10. But honestly, I want to see how the adoption plays out. I'm going to be conservative for right now, and I'm totally willing to update based on what we see moving forward from here. Finally, I better wrap this up here. Polygon started its return, started its run, and it seems to like this $1.30 mark per Matic token. And we just have incredible news for Polygon, and just time and time again, it just keeps on failing to really break out in a real meaningful way and recapture that over $2 per Matic token. And I think that support's going to hold. I think that $1.30 mark, I think, is something that if we drop down below, that we're going to be quick to recover from. And I think that $2 is in its future. I think that it won't take until the end of 2021 to see that. I do think that by the end of 2021 that we will overtake to go back to new all-time highs for Polygon, and we're just going to have to watch that play out to see if we hit the $2 or if we bring it up to $3 by end of 2021. I think that is most definitely likely. So there are other altcoins that are out there, and there's ones that I'm still reading about and stuff. I mentioned Chainlink in some of my other videos as the #1 oracle, another one that I'm bullish on out there, and Audius is one that I wish I had found sooner because, I think it's absolutely incredible. And the fact that it cuts out so many middle people. I think of, I have 2 daughters, and they're both Taylor Swift fans, and I think about the fact that I believe she had to redo a release for one of her albums, or maybe a couple of her albums or something, because she didn't own the rights to her own music. She didn't really necessarily get compensated for her own music. Now, I know that she's not hurting for cash, but still, if she wrote the song and she sang the song, she should have ownership of that song. And with Audius, I just think that that's something that that might be able to bring that back and put the power back in the artist's hands in order to perform on that platform. That the more people listen to their songs, and then the more that they get paid for it, that artist gets paid for it. All right, well, I could talk all day, so I better summarize for you. Ethereum, I think, is going to keep trading in that channel. It might pop out of it for a little while. It might drop under it for a little while, so to the upside, to the downside, but I think it'll return to it. I think that proof of stake, when we finally get that merge happening, I think it's going to change the channel. I think it's going to change from being in the channel that's currently in, and I think it's either going to put it on a steeper trajectory, or more likely, I think it'll step up from where it's at. That we'll have an incremental change instead. Let me see, Solana. I think that Solana easily has staying power to take us up over the 200s in the near term, possibly to $300 by the end of 2021. Solana's just so new. The development isn't necessarily there the way that it is for Ethereum, which is more of a legacy player, if you want to put it in there. Still most definitely a contender, but not as new as Solana is to the game. So we'll see how much adoption and development it gets over time, because that could really tell us a lot more about its price action over time. Cardano, I think Cardano's got a lot of room left to run. I think in the near term, the bears might win this battle, but I think that the bulls are going to win the war, and it's going to take us to new all-time highs that we just need to wait and see. And then finally, Polygon, with their Matic token, I think there's going to be a lot of demand out there, and I think that it's going to also take us to new all-time highs, and I don't think it's going to take us more than Q4 in order to see those new all-time highs. So I have positions with all 4 of these, and all of them are in my crypto portfolio, which I have available over at in my Patreon, available through my Discord, so you can go over there and take a look at it. If you do sign up for it, that's totally a possibility. Don't forget, down in the description is where that link can be found for the Patreon. Also down in the description, we have the links for Moomoo and Webull. You can go over there, sign up, deposit your money, get your free stocks, and thank you for the free stocks ahead of time. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate any support that I can show, even if it's with your eyes wide open, that you find that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Go ahead and ring that thing so you can see anytime that my videos come out. Thank you very much. I'm Dr. Stock. Thanks for rocking with me. Now go get that money.